Hi everybody, welcome to the Pretty Life Girls. Today we're sharing 10 tips for new silhouette users. My name is Sam.
And I'm Liz, and if you're new to silhouette, we're so excited to be the ones to help you get some confidence, try some new things, test out your machine, and get you on your way to making awesome projects.
Yes, so today we're going to be sharing 10 tips to help you get started. Before we jump in though, if there are other videos you would like to see, go ahead and drop those ideas in the comments. We always love to see what you would like to see.
Yes, we do.
And also make sure that you're subscribing. We share new videos every week.
So the best tip, number one, is just get started. Open your box, look at the cords, play around with the different buttons and knobs, plug it into your machine, download your software, make your first cut. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to get it right, but get familiar with the way it moves, with the way you navigate Studio, all of those things, and just cut something.
We hear all the time about people who have had their machine for months or even years and never even opened them because they're so intimidated. And we get it, it's scary. But once you start, and there are so many helpful resources,
yes,
you'll find that you can do it.
You can.
You can do it. Tip number 2, start inexpensive. You don't need to go out and buy a ton of fancy materials, a ton of fancy surfaces for your first projects. Go to the dollar store,
yes,
get some cheap things that you can put vinyl on as you're practicing.
If you mess them up, it won't be a big deal.
There's nothing more frustrating than wasting those things because a project didn't go the way that you planned.
Right. Also at Michael's stores, they've started selling sheets of vinyl along with the rolls. So the rolls are a little bit more of an investment, and the sheets are like around $1, $2 a sheet. And so you can try out different colors and test cut them without investing in a roll and feeling so frustrated that you're invested in this roll and the project didn't go how you want.
And I wasted vinyl.
Yes. So starting off with those sheets is really helpful too, because then you don't feel like, if I don't get this right, I spent all this money. And then you don't feel like you're out anything because you just spent a couple of dollars instead of several dollars.
Yeah.
Number 3 is explore Silhouette Studio. One of the best things about getting to use a Silhouette machine is Silhouette Studio. It's such an amazing piece of software. It can do so much. It also works seamlessly with the Silhouette Design Store, which it's like, if you're like, I don't know what to make, as soon as you start looking through the design store, you won't know you'll have so many options of things to make, be able to choose.
You'll be so inspired.
So inspired.
Yeah. It is a really robust design software, so you can make your own things, like draw your own designs, do your own text, things like that. But yeah, there's the store that makes it so easy.
Yes.
We should mention there are multiple editions of Silhouette Studio. The basic edition comes with your machine, and we've always just used it.
It's great.
Never have any of the fancy ones.
Anything else. Never needed
It's got so many awesome tools. We've even heard that people who use other machines or don't even use it like cutting machines will use Silhouette Studio just for like graphic design because it has that many tools. But the store is where it's at.
It's great. And the other great thing about the store is you can sort by the material that you want to cut. So you're wanting to make paper cards, or you're wanting to do something on a shirt with heat transfer vinyl, or you're wanting to do a print to cut. You can narrow that down and see all the different designs for your specific project as well. And it just really helps with inspiring you to get going.
Yeah. Tip number 4, destick your mat.
Yes.
This is a way, a lot of these tips are to help you not waste materials. Those mats that you get come very, very sticky. Generally, when I open mine, I immediately put it onto the carpet and pull it up.
Yes.
Just to make it have some residue on there.
Particularly if you're cutting paper, you'll put paper on there and try to peel back your paper, and half of your paper will come off and half of it will be stuck to that sticky mat. And that can be so frustrating. Once you get it to the right stickiness though, it's such an amazing tool, and especially if you're cutting intricate designs, it's awesome. But you will want to de-stick it a little bit, or else it's just so sticky.
So sticky. And there are different brands of mats that you can use. So you could maybe search and find the one that's just right.
Sure.
And within the different brands, there are different levels of sticky. So there are strong hold and light hold, and so you can explore all of that, but keep the stickiness of the mat in mind.
Yes.
With your projects.
When you're doing your first ones, especially.
Yes.
Our number 5 tip has come by a lot of trial and error. So the Silhouette machines come with an auto blade that automatically adjusts and cuts. And most of the time it works amazingly well. But all of these tips are to help you minimize your frustrations as you learn. And one of the ways you can do that is by take out that auto blade and replace it with a premium or ratchet blade. You can get those on Amazon, you can get those at Michael's. Those you adjust yourself, and you can work with your settings in Silhouette Studio and then adjust them yourself. So then you have a lot of control over how deep it's cutting, how quick it's cutting, and you'll have a little bit more success, especially for control freaks.
Which we are. And that leads really seamlessly into tip number 6, which is to use the test cut. These kind of go together. So Liz had mentioned the cut settings in Silhouette Studio. When you're in there and you select your material, some settings will auto-populate. Those are a starting point. So don't take those as science, as gospel.
Right.
That is a starting point. And so it helps to use the test cut before you go into all of your material, and it cuts just a little triangle and square out of the corner. And based off of how that cuts, you can adjust your blade, adjust your cut settings, decide if you want to stick with the auto blade, move to the ratchet.
And the reason that happens isn't because the machine is dumb. It could be because it's set for particular weights of Silhouette products, and maybe you're using a different brand of product, or maybe you just picked up your machine and moved it from one surface to another, and it got a little bit unequal somehow. What's that? Like
calibrate.
Yeah, and like messed up the calibration. There's a lot of little tiny reasons that can happen, and it's just another way to prevent frustration is doing that little test cut, and it doesn't take much out of your material, so you're not wasting anything. It's usually right in the corner that you're not going to use anyway, and then you know for sure that you can go in and cut without any worry that it's not going to work.
Tip number 7 is to check the bar and the rollers. On your machine, there's a bar that unlocks where you load your material and rollers that grip it. If you find that your material is sliding all over and so the cut is getting messed up, check the bar and the rollers. Make sure the bar is locked. Make sure the rollers are in the right place to grip it. Like if you're using the Cameo that can cut 12 inches, but you've put in an 8.5 by 11 sheet, then you might want to adjust that roller over to grip the more narrow material versus a 12 by 12.
And lots of times I'll load my material in and give it a pretty good tug to make sure. That doesn't always mean it's all the way locked, but it can be a good indicator. Load it in and then just give it a little tug to make sure that it's not slipping, because it should hold your materials really tightly.
Another thing that can make your material slip around is if you have anything behind your machine that can get in the way, or something
even
that
your
could run into.
cords.
If it hits it, sometimes it can just totally mess everything up. So keep the area clear.
Yes. Our number 8 tip is try different brands out as you're experimenting with your machine. So like we said earlier, you can go to Michael's and get individual sheets of vinyl. Those aren't Silhouette brand, but a Silhouette machine can cut them. And you can look on Amazon for different brands. You can look at various craft stores. You don't have to feel like you only can use Silhouette products, even though they're great with your Silhouette machine. That's one of the wonderful things about the machine is it can cut a variety of products from a variety of brands. And so you really unlock a lot of different tools that you can use, and you don't have to feel like you're just stuck using Silhouette tools.
You might find that for a certain project, the machine cuts best, or you like a certain quality, or one is easier to weed than another brand, or something, and just keeping all of those things in mind. One product that I don't think I knew about for a while, like a couple years after having my silhouette, was transfer tape. And I remember literally like weeding and then placing individual things because I didn't know there was a way to like transfer the whole thing. So transfer tape.
Yes.
Some people like to use contact paper.
I even used
painter's tape.
Yeah.
Transfer tape is meant for the transfer, so that's probably the best way to go.
Sure.
But I just thought that's a good beginner tip. Use transfer tape.
Right.
It makes it so much easier to move from the carrier sheet of the design to the surface that you're applying it to. You don't have to do one piece at a time and arrange it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
been there. Number 9 is really similar. You don't have to be stuck with Silhouette tools as you're working with your Silhouette machine either. So Silhouette comes with a bunch of great tools like their own weeding hooks or whatever. If you lose your weeding hook, don't let it stop you from creating that day. Get a thumbtack. Use a little sewing needle. Anything can, peel that off. Don't feel like if I don't have every single tool that Silhouette makes, I can't make this. Be creative. I've used my credit cards
instead
all
of
the time to transfer or to peel things off of your mat. So get creative and don't let not having all of the tools at once stop you from getting going.
Tip number 10 is to keep trying. Don't give up. Just keep going. You will get it. We promise. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but you will get there. And if you want more detailed instructions on specific projects or want some beginner project ideas to help you get going, we have a getting started section on our blog, prettylifegirls.com. If you go to the right sidebar and scroll down, you'll see a little silhouette picture on the right that says, get started with your silhouette. And we've got videos and tutorials and all sorts of
lots of beginner projects, very simple vinyl and heat transfer projects that anybody, even you pulling your silhouette right out of the box, can do.
And of course, we have silhouette videos here on our YouTube, so check those out and subscribe if you find them helpful. We'll share a silhouette video once a month, as well as some other craft ideas if you want that kind of inspiration.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.